Right now, about 20% of Americans have at least one tattoo and have spent more than $1.5 billion getting them. So where do we draw the line between artistic expression and expensive addiction? From athletes like NBA star Chris Birdman Anderson to artists like Chris Brown and Lil Wayne, the tattoo phenomenon just keeps growing. And tattoos are becoming more acceptable, as Jeremy Meeks, aka Hot Felon, proved on the fashion runway. One of the hottest new trends is under the bra line, shown off to designer perfection by Rihanna in her custom-made Armani at the Grammys. Caesar of the highly successful Black Ink Crew reality TV franchise says it's all about self-expression.
Tattoos are basically the best way to become a unique individual, especially if you got something that's custom.
Boxing champ Mike Tyson shocked the world in 2003 with a face tattoo, but now face ink is much more common. Tupac's Thug Life tat seemed so bold in the 1990s, but now looks tame compared to today's rappers like Wiz Khalifa, who just paid tribute to Bob Marley in one of the few open places left on his body, the top of his feet. But even Caesar cautions that extreme ink may work in the entertainment field, but isn't for everyone.
I'm not even gonna lie, some of these rappers, they look crazy, and they're the ones who lead in our generation with their music. Like, some of that stuff is like, yeah, you can do it, but then at the end of the day, these kids that's idolizing y'all can't get a job now.
Hollywood star Megan Fox has at least 9 tattoos, raising the question of whether you can have just one. Dr. David Orrs, who has full-arm tattoos called sleeves, says it's like anything else.
The addiction to tattooing or getting lots of tattoos would be the same as being addicted to anything else.
Dr. Orrs removes gang tattoos at no charge, but the gang tattoo connection is still going strong. Convicted gang leader Thaddeus Jimenez, sentenced to 9 years on a gun charge, promoted his Simon City Royals gang in Chicago by paying people to get their face tatted with their logo. When it comes to any extreme tats, Caesar says if they're too young, he simply refuses.
Sometimes I just tell kids, like, at least before you sit here and follow a trend, think about what you want to be in life and understand whatever your decision is now is going to affect you later.
Despite the mainstream acceptance of tattoos, they still carry a tinge of negative stereotypes. Let's find out what our panel has to say about this. Joining us right now for Street Soldiers, Dr. Dave Orrs. He's the founder and director of the Lower East Side Medical Center and also the Fresh Start Tattoo Removal Program.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Pleasure to be here.
We really appreciate it. Also with us is Chris Pate. She's a tattoo artist and owner of the Art House Tattoo in Queens and also a working mom of 3.
Hi.
Hi, thank you. Great to have you with us. Also with us is Mal G. He's a hip-hop artist from Boston, has a studio here in New York, and his latest single is called It's Me and You. Mal G, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it. Dr. Dave, people talk about being addicted to tattoos. Is that a real thing, or is that just a way of saying it?
I think it's mostly a way of saying it. People can be addicted to anything. Addiction's a very strange thing. It's a subcategory of obsessive compulsive disorder. You can be addicted to food, as a big thing on food, the sex addictions, alcohol addictions, heroin, opiates, drugs, but also behavior addictions. So compulsion can be connected with tattoo, although not more than anything else, like gambling. So I don't think it's a core idea of tattooing. I would say the same percent of people addicted to tattoos is exactly the same addicted to anything else. So it's not special in that regard.
It's not special, it's just the same as any other thing, like plastic surgery or cosmetic procedures that people get
Humans are
over and
mostly,
over again.
humans are essentially talking apes. And apes are very addicted, primates are addicted to things. And so talking apes are addicted to things just like any other thing.
All right, Chris, how did you get into this? Because you have these beautiful tattoos all over your body, your face. How did you get into it?
I've always been an artist, and I think back in 2010, I decided to take the jump and start to learn tattooing. I fell in love with it instantly. I really enjoy making the client happy.
And what is it that's different about doing it on somebody's actual skin as opposed to, drawing on a piece of paper or notebook or canvas?
You know, it's definitely a different medium, and I had to learn that. It's frightening in the beginning because it is permanent. There are no erasers.
But they can be covered up.
Well, they can. Well,
We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
Okay, okay.
But there's a lot of pressure on you because you're right
There
there,
is,
and it's a
it is.
person's body, and it's probably going to be shown.
Very difficult to erase and expensive.
Right, because you want to have a tattoo shown. If you're getting it, you want to show it off. But Moji, with hip hop artists in particular,
Right.
we see a lot of people with tattoo, a lot of
Right.
artists with tattoos
Right.
now. It's almost kind of like you have to have a tat.
Right, it goes hand in hand with the music almost. I mean, your body, the tattoos tell a story of your travels. And, nowadays it's just like, it's just a way to express yourself. So it's branding purposes too, as well. I mean, you look at somebody with tattoos and without tattoos, they have a different look. It's more a distinguished look. So
Right, it's more of the current look. Tell us
Right.
about the first time you got a tattoo.
The first time I got a tattoo was my first record label I was on, and I was terrified. I didn't know what to expect or what to do, and then it came out not so the way I wanted it. So but I just went around it, got sleeved it up, and it came out. It came out pretty good.
When you said sleeved it up, what does that mean?
What I mean, I did more tattoos on me. It covered it up, made it all blend in.
Right.
So that way you couldn't
just
see
kept
it.
going.
Kept going, didn't stop.
And then are you happy with what you have now?
Yes, I am.
No, look, it looks great.
I think when people get one tattoo, what happens, they kind of break the ice. I don't think where your cameras are, but I have. When you get one tattoo, all of a sudden you have a tattoo. So
Right.
the difference of the hassle you're going to get for having one or 3 or 5 or 8 is the same.
It
so you're
becomes
like
a part of you.
You like, and I don't know if you guys could agree, but I never heard anyone speak about tattoos ever in my life unless they don't have tattoos.
I don't have
People- no,
tattoos,
people-
full
no,
disclosure.
people,
I can agree
people,
with you.
people who have tattoos.
Right.
When you meet them or hanging out, no one talks about tattoos ever.
But I'm going to disagree with you on that because we see artists on Instagram. People will post on social
Oh, no, 'cause
media
you're showing the work.
pictures like
Yeah.
I just got this or I'm here there.
It's a conversational piece.
It's like a conversational piece.
But we're at socializing, like a barbecue beach kind of public, we don't walk up to each other and mention our tattoos. It's not mentioned to me. That's how I notice it. I think if you get a new tattoo, you want to show your friends, oh, just got this done, then yeah. But having tattoos, I forget I have tattoos, completely forget I have them until someone mentions it.
True.
We're heavily tattooed. We don't feel them. They
True.
heal. We don't feel them. They become a part of you. You yourself accept them.
It's like waking up and go, oh, look, I have 2 hands.
Yeah,
Jeez, that's
no.
amazing.
It becomes a part of your
Yeah,
body.
you don't notice
but
anymore.
what about but Chris? What about the trend for the face tattoos? You have a gorgeous face and you have tattoos on it. There's people that say, well, guys should do it, but girls really shouldn't do it. Females shouldn't really do it because it's like a different. A different standard of beauty, but this seems to be growing.
It is. It's growing, and I feel if you're comfortable in your skin, you can wear anything. I don't see anything wrong with it in my profession.
Are you having more people come into the shop asking you about it? Like,
People will come in sometimes. They want to get neck tattoos, hand tattoos, anything that would be considered a job stopper. And unless they are extensively tattooed, I will refuse to do the tattoo.
so do they tell you what kind of jobs they have that they can't be tatted?
I will ask, maybe the person maybe in the medical field or, sales, it may, well,
I'm an exception, I guess.
Well, you have your own practice
But her
and-
face tattoo is very beautiful, I want to say.
It's gorgeous.
It's very, very lovely on her. I think it looks great.
It's gorgeous. But then do they come back again? Like, do you have repeat customers? Because you've been doing this for a while now.
yeah, no, I have wonderful, wonderful clients. Or do you mean people coming back?
Like they come
asking
back, like
for-
they get the
Oh,
first tattoo, and then
absolutely.
they come back, and then they're like, okay, now I want to do this, or I want to do my legs, or I want to do hip, or
I've
something
had
like that.
Clients for 7 years that continue to come and wear my art. Think
yeah.
more about the quality of work that they're putting on their body.
Bravo.
Longevity.
They are
Don't
so
save
good.
money on a tattoo.
Chris, in terms of the face thing, do you find, like, did you start with one tat and then you started to get more in yourself?
Yes, I was 18 with my first tattoo, and a couple years went by until I had a second. They weren't visible. I think I finally took the initiative to start showing tattoos once I began tattooing. I think it's expected for tattoo artists to have visible tattoos. I do know a lot of them that do not, but
That's weird. Yeah, they
Yeah.
got tattoos. Yeah.
When
So then you
say-
get the second one when you started doing it, and then I mean, because the nature of like being a creative person is you do one thing and then you're like, wow, I do that differently the second time, and I can, you know, add to it, and
Right.
it evolves and it changes. Was that what happened with you with your body? Like you start with two, and then you have all up your arm, your hand, you have your hands too, right?
I do have my hands
Wow.
as well. I enjoyed it.
Tattoos are great.
I enjoyed having them. I mean, they are a very personal decision.
You know, there are some people that say you get an adrenaline rush. You get like an
Well,
adrenaline rush when you're
you
doing
get,
it.
it's called endorphin and adrenaline. Yeah, because the pain. But once you have if you start getting tattoos, like I do 4 or 5 hours at a time when you get tattooed, because I have sleeves. What happens? You get 5, 8 little tattoos around. Then say, all right, get a sleeve, and the sleeve means it looks like a sleeve of a shirt.
Exactly.
So there's no skin, so it looks like it might be a sleeve on a shirt.
Right.
That's where sleeve comes from. So the when you're getting a tattoo with the electric pen, it hurts. And it hurts a lot for the first 8-10 minutes, but then people zone out is what they call it. You kind of get into a zone. You kind of zone out like an airplane noise.
Right.
And that's because endorphins get released, which is morphine. Opiate in your brain is an endorphin. Endorphin is a receptor in your brain for endorphins. It's a crazy story. I won't even tell it now. But
No, we want to hear it.
All right.
So you're getting
Your brain
tattooed.
releases
for the
opium.
first 8 to 10 minutes, you're in excruciating pain.
well, no,
Yeah, pain.
It's a very tolerable feeling.
it's like a
It is.
buzzy kind of annoyingness.
You get it. You're in pain. Then after about 10 minutes, you just kind of like,
Yeah.
whoa, like
you
that.
zen into it, yeah.
Kind of.
like a pinch, like just drilling you and staying on your body, pinching you.
You know, pain is very variable in people too.
Very, very variable.
Some people like the
Some
pain.
people don't feel a lot of pain.
Also, there's different kinds of pain. Your skin has receptors for touch,
Right.
and for getting cut, and for heat,
Right.
and stretch. There's 4 different pain receptors. So people can have different levels of intensity for those different things. So one person might have no problem. You tattoo their arm off, they don't care. But heat will make them crazy, or a pinprick will make them nuts. So it's pinprick, pain, fire, stretch. They're different receptors. So it's very, very variable. Like even when you put someone to sleep for surgery, or they have an injury like a broken bone, some will break their arm and don't even care. They keep playing soccer. They don't even notice it.
Some people don't go to
Someone else
the
break
doctor
their
right away.
pinky
That's
very
and they're on the ground rolling,
I
thrashing
know.
around.
Trust me. I totally understand.
yeah.
Been
So
there,
it's
done
totally-
that.
it's
But let
very
me
variable.
ask you. But Moji, when you as a guy, you're going in there. So I mean, some guys, you know, big tough guys are like,
Right.
you know, kind of nervous around needles and that kind of thing. Is there a little bit of guy pressure to kind of like?
I mean, yeah, you know, there's people looking at you. I mean, you gotta toughen up. But I say tattoos hurt a little bit, but it's just about beauty. Pain hurts. Beauty hurts. You know, like when you're getting all
Right on.
fixed up and you gotta
Exactly.
fix yourself and get ready.
Sacrifice.
Right, sacrifices you gotta make to get what you gotta get done.
And women in general,
it looks good after.
I'd say women fare
women can take pain way better than men.
Oh, of course, they have kids.
I think so.
100%.
I'll agree with that 100%.
Yeah, they
You know,
think-
there's no discussion on that.
But
one.
sometimes the pain can
Even
get
in the hospital,
excruciating.
they really-
Sometimes it depends.
But wait,
it
but-
depends on the spot.
Yes.
It can get
Ribs.
What about on the neck?
Oh man,
Yeah,
I mean
that's
the
it.
Adam's apple wasn't no joke. You know what I mean?
Okay, and for me, like I barely felt this. I felt
Right.
more of a vibration than actual pain.
I think ribs.
Then you told me the hand hurted more, and I didn't feel that. Over here, the side.
the side of the hand, but yours is a little higher. I'm talking like right here. That
Oh,
was.
I don't think I was.
But what
going
about
there.
right here, Chris? What about this?
You know, the
But this
face
bone.
face isn't bad. Maybe we don't have much pain receptors there or not.
Hands have the most pain receptors.
Pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah.
But I think I think me and you both
square
agree.
inch.
Right here is the worst.
Yeah. Anything low.
Oh, right
on
in the
wrist
front
is
here.
Right here in the
Very
front.
painful.
People I know complain about rib.
You see, he don't got it neither. All three of us don't. Well, he do.
A little
he
bit.
Did.
He's, down to the right to the wrist.
Right, yeah,
To
to the
that-
wrist.
to
That's-
Where the
to
hand
that
starts.
spot.
Yeah, that's
Well, different places hurt more than others with anything, you know. Any kind of injury hurts
course.
more.
right.
Getting this needle in your eye is going to hurt more than a needle in your arm.
But I want to come back
Happy
to
thought.
this face trend. When your face is completely covered, some of the people that have their face completely covered with tattoos, you can't really make out their expressions. It's very hard
it's
to
more
make out
difficult. I think you get distracted. I
It's
think
very
face,
confusing.
For civilians, face
Across
tattoos
more
make people terrified because it's your face.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like a burn on the face. You have a burn on your back or your chest, no one
Nobody-
says much.
it's not a big
but if your
deal.
eye is disfigured, it creeps people out.
Right.
The face, if any distortion of the face at all, creeps humans out. All primates. If you have a
Period, end
monkey,
of story.
even in the monkey colony, we have 20 monkeys in a little group. Monkeys are always in groups of 20. Primates, us, we have groups of 20. We're never more than 20, never less. We always have 20 friends, which is weird. No one has more friends than that. I know your Facebook.
It's like
blah, blah, blah.
breaking news.
have
Hashtag
less.
breaking news.
Humans.
Dr. Day.
No,
Dr.
primates.
Dave breaking it down.
Primates don't
you
have
ain't nothing
1,200
better
friends.
you're not better than those animals.
No, we're not. It's not fair. We are primates. See, we're not insects. We're not insects.
Right.
We're
Wait,
not
so-
birds. We're primates. Anyway, primates have 20 friends. That aside, if you have a primate like little orangutans or any kind of monkeys, and their eye is disfigured from an accident or a fight, they're rejected by the other ones.
So spider monkeys.
Whoa.
Because you
That's
can't.
not good.
Right, but
No,
I
it's
don't,
not good.
I don't
Okay, but-
feel like this is distasteful. You
No,
know?
yours pretty.
No,
yours
it's
is
beautiful. You
fine.
look
They're
gorgeous.
subtle. I've seen distasteful.
That's a judgment
Does
call.
that bother
Did
you
it hurt
as
on
an
the side
artist?
of your
No,
face?
no.
But let me ask you this, because this happens in every industry and in every field. I think is like, do you see people? Do you not? Since you're a tattoo artist, do you look at people's tats and go like, oh wow, I could have done so much better, or what was she thinking, or what was he thinking?
Not necessarily the extent of a person being tattooed, because they could be completely covered every inch.
Right.
And
Right.
To me, I accept a person whether they're tattooed or not. The quality of work that
Yeah, some
individuals
tattoo artists aren't that good.
get on themselves. I wish people would think a little more.
Well, what do they need to look? What do they need to look for if they are thinking of getting tattoos? Like what kind? Because there are a lot of tattoo shops opening
There's
up
so
in many
so many
places.
tattoo shops. So many
There's some of them. Some of them you
refer
see like
artists.
tattoos, phone cards. You can buy. It's just they're
Some
like a
people
do a
come
little
to
bit
your
of
house
everything.
and do it.
Yeah.
I think different artists have different specialties. I mean, some artists are great with portrait, and
Right.
some are great making machines, and some are great doing all the different. She'll do better than me, but different types of tattoos. They have a
Right.
specialty they're really good at.
Something's good with just letters.
Yes.
I wish that people wouldn't always look for the best deal and think
Oh, yeah.
more about the quality of work that they're putting on their body.
Bravo.
Longevity.
They are going
Don't
to
save
live
money on a
Right.
tattoo.
Let me talk about the addiction. The addiction thing. We've seen it with plastic surgery. We've seen it with cosmetic procedures. We've seen it with all sorts of things that people do. Exercise. People can get addicted to running.
I wish.
They can
me
get
too.
addicted to anything, anything
need
like
that.
that. Have you ever, do you think there's a certain point like after somebody has tatted up their whole body and their whole face, they come back and want to do more? Like,
Yes.
what do you
There's
do?
a guy named Lucky Diamond Rich. You can Google him. He's blue now. His whole body is not 1 square inch. It's totally tattooed. A good friend of mine. Really funny guy. And he's like a circus freak performer guy. But really funny, very talented. And he's tattooed everywhere. And he just became blue eventually because there's nothing left to do. There was no more art to do on him.
He just became solid blue.
He's solid blue. With more, his tattoos you can see if you look closely, but it became like all solid blue.
I have a lot of people come to me. Well, Chris, I have this spot. Can we just fill the spot? I feel like it's.
Is it a
empty.
control thing? Let's talk about that. Is it like you can control something? There's so many things in our lives we can't control, but it's like you can control. It's like the equivalent, like let me go change my hair color or get a different haircut or
control it.
something like that, but in a much more personal way because it's your skin. It's a reflection of who you are,
But there's a lot of
and you
trust.
can control it.
Yeah, you're gonna
Too.
say you gotta
And the
have
trust.
you gotta have a
Trust.
vision, because if he don't project your vision right,
And
then
then
it
you're
comes
out
out
of
messed
control.
up. And then you're just like, wow, I gotta get this done over. Like I had to do my neck. I had to do this 2 or 3 times.
I specialize in cover-ups.
Right.
I do large-scale cover-ups.
It got started with a stencil, but I didn't like how it was coming out. So I waited till I came back to Boston, and then I got it. I went to a professional shop, and he finished it up.
Did you have a reference thing, like a photograph to start with?
Yeah, I did.
A lot of artists tell me that makes a huge difference if you have a
Yeah.
picture.
Huge difference.
Because
No, that's what Chris said. Yeah.
then you could communicate.
So many different styles. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I want a
Right.
fish.
He-
Okay,
his-
what
the
kind of
shape-
I want a snake.
The shading
You want a
wasn't.
realistic snake, a traditional snake, a Japanese.
There's a lot of
snake?
different. Just
A lot
don't
of
go.
different snakes.
So some tips for people who are thinking of getting
Bring a
tattoos.
photo.
Number 1, bring a photo.
Right.
Number 2, you should go to a shop as opposed to somebody that's. Are there licensed? Or do you have to be licensed?
Absolutely.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to be
You have to be
licensed.
licensed. So go to a shop because then it's licensed, not somebody's basement or
Right. That knows how
your
to
friend's
shade
living
good.
room.
Same with surgery,
That
by the
knows
way.
how
If you
to
want,
do good
if you want a heart
shading.
valve done, don't do it in someone's house. Same sort of thing.
I do want to say, research your artist
Right.
beforehand.
That's a great point. That's the best
Absolutely.
point. I agree
Well,
with
how
that.
do you research a But how do
The
you
interweb.
research?
I mean, looking at his
It could be-
catalog.
yeah, it could be as simple as walking to a shop and asking to see somebody's portfolio,
Right.
and just looking at the quality of work that they're going to put on you.
Well, I want to thank all of you for being with us for this episode of Street Soldiers. Dr. Dave Orge, Chris Pate, and Malji, thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate
Great
it.
show.
And remember,
Lisa,
use your
awesome.
mind. Use your mind. It's your best weapon. I hope it's your only weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace.